What does the law say about conducting post-election audits?
Well, first of all, the law says they're required, and they've been required in Florida for quite a long time. There are options. You can do the manual audit, which is essentially 1% of your 1 to 2% of your precincts that you have to discover all the ballots and then hand count them and make sure the totals are accurate. The other option, you can do automated independent audits, which gives you the option of either doing a 20% audit or a 100% audit. In Leon County, we're proud to say that we've been using the automated independent audit now since it was 100% legal. So Clear Ballot is the vendor that makes the Clear Audit automated independent audit software that's been certified for use in Florida. What it is essentially is a second tabulation system. It's independent from the main voting system or tabulation system. The only thing it shares is the ability to read the paper ballots. It's programmed separately and it's run completely separately. Like a voting system, it's never connected to the internet, but it allows us to recount the same paper ballots that were filled out by voters, and it sums up all the votes and validates that the counts are accurate from the first system to the second system. It shows the ballots cast by our voting system. The ballots essentially cast and scanned by the audit system. This system allows us to audit the inventory as well as the overall vote totals. These are the kind of information that we need to see to make sure there's no missed voter intent. So some of the power of this system is that it can really focus in on marginally marked ballots or ballots where the voter didn't quite make the mark really well. There's other instances where it's really tough for not only machines, but humans sometimes to determine what voter intent is. You can see that there is a mark in this commissioner's oval, but then there's a full mark up here. The systems are good enough to ascertain that, but it wants to highlight, the systems highlight that so that human eyes can validate what the machine decided. Right here, doesn't look like the rest of the ballot. And so the canvassing board would not count that as a vote.
How do I know as a voter that my vote is counted accurately?
Well, there's many ways to know that. One is we have great chain of custody. We use paper ballots for every vote. We tabulate votes on voting systems that are certified at the state and federal level. We test that equipment before and after elections in open forums for the public to watch. We validate that the software has not changed in between the process. And then we do our 100% post-election audit to make sure that one system is counting the votes right, but another system is validating that it's all accurate.
Why does Florida require all voting to be done on a paper ballot?
Well, paper ballots really have become the gold standard. And the reason for that is that it captures the voter intent as the voter has marked it on the paper. There's no debating whether, there was some software in there changing votes or things weren't captured the way the voter intended. Paper's simple, it's reliable, we can audit it, make sure it hasn't changed, and it's right there for us to review anytime we need to. You can see that this was actually a duplicated ballot. It was duplicated by the canvassing board. This was a vote by mail ballot. People are filling these ballots out at their breakfast tables oftentimes, or somewhere, sometimes in their car, and they're rushed. And sometimes they damage the ballot. When it came to our office, it could not be read by our voting system, nor obviously our scanning system. When we get one of these ballots that cannot be scanned in by the system, we bring those to the canvassing board, and the canvassing board goes through what is called the recreation process. It's documented in statute how we have to do this. The ballot marked by the voter, you call it the original ballot, and it gets a number. Then also the blank ballot that is going to be filled in by the canvassing board so that it can be tabulated. It has to be an exact representation of what the voter did. It gets the exact same number so that we can always go back and match the original to the duplicate in case there's ever any question.
Is the public invited to witness the post-election audit?
Absolutely, yes. We scan these throughout the process. We only scan the ballots when the public is allowed to be in here. We do it with a member of the canvassing board involved, and we do it in a very secure area. After the election is over, we run the results from this system, from the audit system, compare it to the voting system right there in front of the whole world. But we show that on the board. Vote systems are very accurate in counting those. But any uncertainties are easily found by this system. It really finds those needles in a haystack.
Tell me about your chain of custody and how you track a ballot's journey from the voter's hands to its final destination.
Yeah, so if you're voting in person, we'll either print the ballot right there for you as you check in, make sure it's the right ballot style, precinct, and party for where you live. You were given that ballot in the room. You can take it to the privacy booth, fill it out, and then under the watchful eye of our technicians, you're inserting it into the machine. It's stored in a secure container, and at the end of voting, we have our poll workers as well as the public is allowed to come in there and watch us take those out, put them in a secure container, fill out the chain of custody documentation. We actually transport them from the polling places to our office in tracked containers with seals. So we have a GPS tracker on those that follows the route right back to our office. So chain of custody is very, very important. We need those paper ballots, the gold standard of voting, to capture voter intent, to be in a pristine condition. They're coming straight from the voters' hands to our control, and we maintain very close controls. So every day we're comparing these different batches and the turnout and the number of ballots in those with our voter history so that we maintain a very, very strong, pristine, like I say, ballot inventory. In the vote by mail arena, we only send ballots out to voters who request it. The requirements for requesting a vote by mail ballot have been tightened up greatly in the last several years, which we're a big fan of. So we only send ballots out to people that request it. We only send it out to addresses that we have on file. And once the ballots go out, the voter fills them out, they sign the envelope. If those envelopes come back to us unaltered, undamaged, and we validate those signatures. If we see any indication that those signatures may not match, we do not count those ballots until we either get a cure of the signature that the voter verifies that yes, they are the person that voted that ballot. And if we can't get that verification, we don't count the ballot. It's kept locked down and then it goes right through the audit, usually the next day.
Why can voters trust their supervisors of elections?
Well, supervisors of elections are accountable to the citizens, to our voters. We have professionalized our operations. We do this 24/7, 365. That's all we do is think about elections, how to make them secure. We've been doing that in conjunction with the legislature, making very, very good laws here in Florida. We're the envy of the nation, frankly. I get asked to speak all over the country about what we do right and how we can, help our neighboring states all over the nation do as well as we do. So we're the envy of the nation in that regard. And from a technical standpoint, we use paper ballots. The gold standard captures the voter intent exactly as the voter marks it. And so you can't get any more definitive than that. We have certified systems that have been certified at the state and national level. They're tested repeatedly and often. We have great audit systems that frankly are the envy of the nation also, and what we've started here in Florida is spreading all around the country. So I think people can be very, very certain that we are doing everything in our power to make sure that voters can trust elections. And we're always asking people to come in and watch what we do. We try and make this a very transparent process as required by law.
Florida Supervisors of Elections and I want you to know that you can have confidence in our elections. We work hard every day to protect the vote and earn your trust. Visit dos.fl.gov/elections to learn more.